Hello, everybody. Welcome to an Interesting Modelling Company pop-up live. I don't know about you, but I'm still looking at those cakes. Oh, lovely. Reason why we've got a pop-up live tonight is because we are going to do an unboxing of this toolkit that I ordered off of Amazon on the midweek show. And for those of you who remember that, I'm just going to call it up on screen. And it was one of these. It was described as a Gundam toolkit. It's not this one, it's the other one I got. Bear with. But we were having this discussion about the affordability of the hobby at the moment, and seems to be a strange impression out there that somehow this hobby is not affordable, when we would argue it is. So let's go. There you go. That's the one I've ordered. This one here, which, as you can see, it comes with some sanding sponges, some sanding sticks rather, some tweezers, a file, a knife with some blades, and a pair of cutters, and a polishing cloth, all for the ridiculous amount of £8.99. Now, apparently, there is another set which has some extra goodies in it. And if I just scroll across to that one, which apparently I'm told this one has a slightly better pair of cutters. And for an extra quid, wish I'd ordered this one now. For an extra quid, you get some extra sanding sticks and apparently a better pair of cutters. I still might order this just for the fun of it, just to see what you get in there. But there we go, £8.99. I think you can agree that that looks like a pretty efficient toolkit for a beginner to actually get on with building some models, but the proof is in the pudding. Obviously not any kind of pudding we saw in that shop window. Oh, here we go. This is what turned up from Amazon. So this is the £8.99 set. As you can see, I have not gone in here yet because it is still, goodness me, it is efficiently sealed. So let's get the sticky tape off. Right. So what do we have? We have a pair of pointed cutters here that look pretty good. We are going to try them out in a second. A polishing cloth, never say no. How can we describe this? An X-Acto tribute band knife. I really like that funky metallic blue. I quite like that. Some spare blades, rather nicely in a little holder as well. A file and what appears to be a quite coarse sanding stick. That's a little bit of play in there, but there's a nice file there. Then we have some polishing sponges here. I actually feel quite nice. Then we have some tweezers. So we have some bendy ones, and I've got to say the points on those look pretty good. Nothing wrong with them. And some straight ones. And there's no crossover on the tips as far as I can see. So for £8.99, let's just get this out of here. For £8.99, you are getting all that and a neat little box to keep it in. For £9, £9.99 rather, you're getting some extras. So, as I say, I might order that set just to see how that compares. So, I think you'll agree that for anybody who's starting out in the hobby, in order to have some tools to actually get on and build a model, I think that's a pretty neat set to be starting off with. It's obviously these cutters are not going to be anywhere in the vicinity of my beloved Despise, but then again, this set has cost a fraction of what these cost. So you know, we're having to disengage our enthusiast brain and try and go back into the the minds of what we were like when we were starting out, when we were kids. So let's just pop all this back into the toolbox for the moment, and we will put this set to good use. We've got a blade in there. Just make sure that's in firmly. Quite like the fact that it does have a cap cover. That's a good safety feature. So I've still got this Zvezda Hurricane that I'm hoping to get some paint on over the weekend. So we will chop some bits off and clean them up. Nothing on, yeah, there we go. We'll do an exhaust pipe, I think. So let's see, what are these cutters like? Do you know what? That's quite efficient. That's actually quite a neat cut. So I'm not entirely sure how good these blades are. Oh, no, actually, they're all right. They're all right. So we will try the. That's really coarse. That's slightly less coarser. So we'll give that a. So that's, again, that's the coarsest. That's the next one down, and that's almost like a polishing thing. But you know what? That works. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. We'll chop a few more bits and pieces off. But let's just see what these sponges are like when it comes to seam lines. Although I've treated this seam, I just want to see what it's like when it comes to oh, look at that. It's gone all shiny. Well, like I say, it's what can you say about a toolkit? This, on face value, will do pretty much everything you need to stick a model together, except for the actual sticking bit, which you'd have to go out and buy some glue. I think Spencer and I agreed that for a beginner, probably to me, a white cap, because it's slightly thicker and it's a bit more versatile. So we probably recommend that. But apart from that, what we might do as a bit of a sub challenge is build and assemble something. I'm not talking about painting, but we're talking about building and assembling something using just this, just to prove a point. Or you know, I could order that other set, but I think for now we'll use this one. But I have to say, I am really impressed, because it would have probably cost me a bit more to have actually gone out and assembled a basic toolkit, more than the $8.99 this has cost me. The $9.99 one looks pretty good. So I think when this show's over, might be going over onto the old Amazon and doing a bit of an order there. In fact, let's we'll just go back to that one again, because just call it up. Bear with. Which one was it? It was that's the one I've ordered. So it's the 15-piece one. No, that's the paintbrushes. Dull. It's lack of cake, people. It's been at least 24 hours since I had cake. Oh, come on. I can't. It keeps bringing up the same one. Oh. What'd you do on Friday? Do you know what? I just no idea. It was utterly bizarre. Here we go. This is it says 13 pieces, but there's more than 13 pieces. More than 13 pieces in this one. So this is the one that I might, after the show, actually go and order, because it does seem to have quite a few extra bits in there, namely some more sanding sponges. Oh, actually, no, these appear to be kind of doubling up on what you've already got. So, and they're not any different. Somebody mentioned that the cutters might be slightly finer, so I would be curious about that. But as you can see, that's the basic kit. That's the cutters. But all in all, I'm really impressed. I really like that. A elemental toolkit to glue some to cut and get some bits going on a model. Certainly for under a tenner. This was actually for under £9. So yeah, let's put it to the test over the weekend and perhaps start building something with it. So hello to everybody who's watching. Let's just give a shout out to everybody. John Patrick Huston, hello. David Mummery. It says it's gonna be pop-up live. Very good. John Patrick Huston says actually it would make a good travel toolkit. It would. I think it would actually. Matthew Walker, he's talking about the cakes. I should never mention the cakes. Juan Francisco Molina says maybe a small 76 scale FX kit. Maybe. I'll see what I've got here. I'll see what I've got to build here at the moment. Dave Mummery says FX starter set challenge build those tools and use the paints and brushes. Not a bad idea that actually. I haven't got one here, but that's an idea. Mark Ryan says hello, and Travis Thompson says I started with one of these sets 3 years ago. Did the job for sure. Well, this again. We're trying to travel back in time and place ourselves into the shoes of somebody who perhaps has never built a kit before or has built a couple, but is trying to put together a basic elemental toolkit. And rather than kind of start chucking suggestions at people of where you've got to go out and get this, go out and buy these branded luxury tools, say to people, get yourself a pair of Despy cutters. How much are they? £35. We are going to be trying to put together a serviceable beginner's tool kit, hopefully including paintbrushes and maybe a selection of paints. So we're going to be trying to do that for around about £30, I reckon. Just enough to get you started. The thing is, as we said on the show on Wednesday, when you're taking up any new hobby, there is going to be some expense. You can't get away from the fact that you are going to have to spend some money getting some bits and pieces in. So you are going to have to buy some paintbrushes. You are going to have to buy some glue. You are going to have to buy some paint, and you are going to have to buy some tools. But if that means foregoing a couple of kits in order to get that, and here I'm actually mimicking what Chris Ellis wrote 50 years ago, then that's the way to go about it. Every time you sit down and build a model, you're always going to be reaching in here and using these tools. So I'm always of the opinion that invest in your workbench because it will pay dividends further down the line. But in terms of actual expense, actual outlay, it doesn't have to be huge. And like most hobbies, if you find yourself thinking, well, actually, this knife is okay, but actually now I could do with something better. I could do with something with a bit more finesse, a bit more control. Then you grow into the hobby, and that's when you start being a little bit more selective and adding to your toolkit. But that only comes with experience. That only comes with actually getting on with models, getting down to it, getting used to that whole kind of tactile, the motor skills involved in building a kit. But yeah, $8.99 for that toolkit. I think that's an absolute bargain. And as I say, we are going to be putting our money literally where our mouths are and using this to build a kit to show that it can be done. And honestly, when I choose whatever the model is I'm going to build with this will be moved out of the way so that it cannot be referred to in any way whatsoever. It is going to be down to this little box set, and we might even do a pop-up live to build something just to show it in action, really. Luke Slaney, hello Luke. He says agree with the FX kit, potentially biting. Yes, well, this is the problem. Is I feel myself compelled to do something which strictly isn't anything to do with the home team or the day job. So, and Matthew Walker says, based on your early video, I ordered the paintbrush set you mentioned. Very happy with them. Thank you. I'll call that one up in a second, but I've got them here, and that's this set of paintbrushes here. Perhaps not that one. I think that's a separate. That's a Pro Arty one. Ignore that one. They are a fabulous set of paintbrushes, and if you just bear with me whilst I call them up, we will put the links to all these things up as usual. But again, bear with. I got these because I wanted some paintbrushes to try out for doing washes and things. But I've ended up actually using these to do figure painting because they are exceptionally good quality. They're not kind of like cheap and nasty and start losing their shape or misshapen or stray hairs everywhere. All the ones I've got here, if I walked into an art shop and somebody was charging £5 a brush, I wouldn't blink, because that's the kind of price I would expect with this kind of quality. But this is a set, as you can see there, it's a set of 15 brushes which run from, I think it's, let's have a quick look, they run from double O's to O's to 2s. So you will need to go out and get some flats and probably a larger round one in the long term. But in terms of kind of, if you're into figure painting, certainly these are pretty fabulous. And I have no qualms in recommending these because they exceed expectation. And I got this set for, as you can see there, the ridiculous price of £8.99. So again, this, as much as I am always saying get the best paintbrushes you can afford, there are instances when actually, if you're starting out, these will do the job. In fact, these are, these are so good. I'd actually recommend them to enthusiasts. Really. There we go. Louth Peter says, can you recommend a brush set for painting faces? Let's just skip back, because here we go, Louth. I would, in all seriousness, recommend this set, which we're just putting the link up on screen. There we go. And it is this set we were just talking about. I would seriously recommend this set. I'm using them on the figures I'm painting at the moment. I've been using them for face painting. I've been using them for doing uniforms and details and things. And as I say, I honestly find them to be phenomenally better than they should be. These are seriously good quality air brushes. These are seriously good quality brushes, but as we say, they are at a ridiculous price of £8.99. So there you go. There you go, Louth. I hope that that helps you. The link's there. We'll put the link back up on the page as well. So that was it. Just a short pop-up live tonight, just to talk about this awesome little toolkit. And as I say, it's if there's one of the things we're going to try and do with the Int Modco, is try and demystify this hobby to some extent, and try and show that as much as I'm an enthusiast and I'm building state-of-the-art Tamiya kits, is also to kind of like go back and show that this hobby it's not hideously expensive and pricing people out, as some of the chatter sometimes seems to suggest. Yes, you've got kits that cost £100 or hundreds of pounds, but they are matched to that a level of expectation and a level of finesse that is at the upper enthusiast end of the hobby. For a lot of people coming into this hobby, they're not going to be heading anywhere near a Hong Kong 48 scale Lancaster at the moment. So, it's you come in at the entry level, you learn your craft, and like all of us, pretty much all of us, then you start to evolve in the hobby. Then you start to become more ambitious, then you want to take on slightly more ambitious kits, and then you start going towards the slightly more expensive kits or the more state-of-the-art kits. But I think this idea that somehow, you know, a 48 scale Hong Kong Lancaster should only cost 30 quid ain't going to happen, people, because that's not the way the hobby works these days. So like I say, we're trying to demystify it, try and show that this hobby is not unaffordable. It's eminently affordable. Look, a toolkit for under a tenner. There we go. Anyway, that's it for tonight. This is only a short one. But we'll be back on Sunday with the news show. Goodness me, what a week for news. Again, we're going to have to strip it down to about half a dozen top news items, but it's been a busy old week. And in the meantime, it just remains to say thank you for watching. I hope you've got something out of this, probably how not to do a live broadcast. Certainly, we'll put the links back up on the page again for the brushes and the toolkit. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Thank you for comments as ever, and we'll be back on Sunday. So until then, as always, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you then. Goodbye.